Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about a tree that is growing too low, and I'll specifically be showing you and telling you how to trim it higher in this very simplistic tutorial. So let's get right into this instructional video. So as you can see, this is a tree in the front of my house, and sometimes parts of it grow too low. So I'm going to show you what I do to trim this a little bit higher and some additional things that you can do. So first and foremost, you want to identify which branches are too low, and you want to identify if those are larger branches or smaller branches. So for instance, this branch is a main branch that is too low, and if I wanted to really raise it up, I would have to cut that off, right? But this actually has a little bit of some live leaves that are growing off it, so I'm not going to cut it off. So instead, I'm just going to be trimming the smaller branches. If you're trimming a big branch like that, then you're going to have to use like a reciprocating saw or like a hand saw, something like this. I'll go grab mine. You would have to use something like this to cut that down, right? Because it's a thicker branch. However, if you're trimming smaller branches, let me just toss this to the side here. If you're trimming smaller branches, you can use like little pruning shears like these. So these are what I'm going to be using to trim the smaller branches. As you can see over here, they've been really used. I've had these for a number of years, and I've used them like no tomorrow on all sorts of plants and stuff. But essentially, you're going to identify the branches you want to trim and trim them so that you start allowing it to grow higher. And then I'll show you an additional trick that you can use to sort of train it to grow higher. So the branches that I've identified that I'm going to trim are right over here. This is too low over here for walking by this way, and then I'm trying to see what it looks like on camera. Over here, this one over here is too low for walking across the grass, and then a couple of these over here are too low for essentially when I park the vehicles in the driveway, because my driveway is to the side. This is like half of the house. The other half of the house, I have it off camera because I don't want you guys to see too much. I like to keep my privacy. But anyways, essentially, we're going to go and trim those branches right now using these pruning shears. Don't trim them too high, but don't trim them too low. You want to trim them enough so that sort of they're not growing low anymore, but you don't want to over trim it, because then you still want to have some growth there. So check this out. I'm going to just walk over here and trim those branches that I've identified, and I do apologize about the sound. I have one of my neighbors is mowing their lawn, so just give me a moment. I'm going to head onto the camera frame and start trimming those branches. So we're going to start off with this one over here that I've identified. Now when you trim one of the branches, it's going to start lightening it up so it'll raise up. So if I just trim this, just a few of these pieces off over here, you can see it's actually starting to raise up a little bit more, okay? As I trim it off, because I'm removing the weight. So as I trim off some of the branches, I don't have to trim everything off, because I'm just going to be removing the weight, and as you can see, when I remove the weight, it starts raising up. So that's probably about how I want it to be. That's totally fine. Next, I'm going to trim off this right here, a little bit too low, okay? Then this one over here is definitely too low, so I'm trying to go a little bit higher, okay? And then this here is definitely too low right over here, okay? Just like that. And then some of these are a little bit too low. I don't know if this is on camera over here, but some of these are a little bit too low, just because of the vehicle. So something like this, I'm gonna just trim off this piece over here, just like that. It raises it up, and then just like that. Then one more over here, just one more right over here. There we go. All right, now if you take a look, as you can see, I've just allowed it to grow a lot higher based on me trimming off those pieces, because it removed the weight of the branches, the things that were weighing the branches down. In addition, what you can do to train it to grow higher is you can, like this branch right here, essentially, if I wanted this branch to grow higher, I could take a little piece of rope and I could tie this branch to this branch, and it would allow it, and I could hold them closer together, so it would allow this branch to sort of be trained to grow in an upwards fashion instead of out like this, right? Or I could do it up here, but essentially you'd be strengthening it upwards so it would be growing in an upwards fashion. And that's essentially, that's how to trim a tree that is growing too low to allow it to grow higher. And also, what you can do to train the branches to grow higher, like for more of a long-term effect. And that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video tutorial. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.